What's going on? The Ape Coach from Six Pack Gaming, and today we are bringing you another brand new play-to-earn NFT game, Pegaxy, Pegasus Galaxy. All right, now this is looking like it is going to be a blockbuster, a flagship on the Polygon chain. So that means cheap fees and fast transactions. That's what we love to see, and this game has it all. You can see right here, this is just the homepage. The artwork looks phenomenal, and a lot of the features in this game look incredible. So I'm excited to share this with you. So be sure to smash that thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss these new play to earn NFT projects, and let's dive right into it. All right, so here is Pegaxy or Pegasus Galaxy. This is going to be a horse racing game on the Matic or Polygon blockchain. So it's a layer 2 on Ethereum, so you get all the benefits of Ethereum, but way cheaper, way faster. And again, here's the model of these guys. And oh man, look at these renders, sick. All right, so you've got Pegaxy. Pegasus Galaxy is a racing game with futuristic, mythological styling. Pega, the horses, are descendants of the mighty Pegasus. In this game, players will participate in PvP format races to win rewards in the platform's native utility token, Vis, or Vigorous. All right, so they've got different bloodlines here, and you're going to be able to race them, breed them, and rent them. So think, scholarship program like Axie Infinity, breeding and racing, 3 super incredible features. And this game is going to be built with a focus on skill-based earnings as well. So it's not just going to be the person who can afford the most expensive horse. There's going to be strategy involved in it. There's going to be, human interaction, human skill factors that allow you to earn. The Pega bloodlines, there's 4 different bloodlines in Pegaxy, some rarer than others. If you're a collector, look closely. If you're a racer, get onto the track and get testing. If you see an amazing Pega available, I didn't finish reading it. If you see an amazing Pega available, don't hesitate. Greatness awaits for no one. All right, so there's 4 different elements of these Pega, and they each have a different rarity. So the Haas is the most rare. This is the Lightning bloodline, and it says they're almost a mythic existence. The Haas Pega bloodline is powerful and rewarding and a force to be reckoned with on the track. They are the elite. Next up is the Campona, bonded with fire. So this is the fire element. Naturally adapts and overcomes to struggles associated with fiery conditions. Resistant and fast. Campona Pega are known as gods. Next up is Klin, the masters of water. The Klin bloodline have it running through their veins, well performing in rainy and wet weather conditions. A Klin Pega is desired for their reliability and focus during tough weather. So you'll notice these are all weather themed. When strong winds come into play, the Zan Pega bloodline only works harder. Designed specifically for wind, Zan Pega should be your choice. Focus and stability are their strengths. All right, so there's these 4 different elements, and that's because in the game there's actually going to be elements in the racetracks, in the courses, that will affect how you want to play your Pega, or perhaps which Pega you want to use and which sort of gear you want to use as well, because there's going to be basically attachments and gear that you can suit your horses up with, and it's going to buff and debuff certain stats. So that's where a lot of the strategy comes in before the actual races themselves. So here's how to play. Very unique ecosystem that allows players to enter any race for free, right? So you don't have to, it's not gambling, right? Like you don't have to place a bet in order to do these races. You get to enter these races for free. Okay, with this economic model, gameplay is very competitive and the rewards are still lucrative. Players compete against 11 other racers, so there's 12 racers total, and attempt to earn a top 3 placement. All players inside the top 3 earn Vis tokens, the platform's utility token. Knowledge, strategy, and skill are all required to place in the top 3. Be prepared to race, dedicate time, and be one with your Pega. The rewards will make it all worthwhile. Okay, so this is saying, there's going to be skill involved in this. You're going to have to know what your strategy is and how to use these horses. And if you can place in the top 3, that's how you're going to make the earnings from this, right? right? Here's the tokenomics. So again, it's on the Polygon blockchain. They're going to have 2 tokens. So this is a dual token economy, much like Axie Infinity. So there's 1 billion of their PGX token. This would be similar to AXS in Axie. This is their governance token. And then there's their utility token, VIS, which is what the rewards are going to be paid out in. And this is uncapped, just like SLP in Axie. And then look at this team. The size of this team is massive, and look at all the artists. You've got the 3D lead graphic designers, 3D artists, modelers, all of this graphic design, 2D design, 3D art. So they have a ton of their team dedicated to making this game look amazing, and you know, it shows with all of this, right? With all these models and stuff, and even just these. So this game looks amazing. Here is, you know, all the investors. They have a lot of backers, a lot of big supporters of this game. And then let's take a look here at their roadmap. So stage 1 is Q4 2021. That is right now. Okay, so they have their IDO coming up. That is going to be first week of November, and I will tell you more about that. And then they have their initial founding Pega sale. So this is actually tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I believe it's 7 p.m. in their time, which is UTC +8. So you can kind of work that out however that your time is. Unfortunately, the whitelisting for this initial founding NFT Pega sale is actually already done. So I did manage to get on the whitelist for that, but it's still like a first come first serve basis, and there's only 3,700 of these Pega, 3,750, and there's 10,000 people on the whitelist. So I'm going to be fighting to try to get a couple if I can, but you know, we'll see. Hopefully I can get one. And then they have the beta release of the Pegaxy game, which we'll go over again. They've got, you know, marketing, issuance of the tokens, and then they have beta release of the Pegaxy on mobile as well, and 3D gameplay on desktop. And then, you know, this is early Q1 2022, Q2, and Q1 2023, all the way through to Q4 2023. So you can see, like, they have plans for a very long time. So they have their initial sale of Pega gear coming, you know, early next year. They've got this Grand Dash first global tournament. So they're actually planning on having basically like a big esports level tournament that people will compete for, like massive prizes and stuff. So I think that's really cool as well. Here is the beta release of the 3D gameplay on mobile. So it's awesome to see that they're making such a push for both mobile and PC friendly versions of this. The first stadium sale event, so this is going to be like a land sale event, right? You're going to have the opportunity to own your own stadium. So there's going to be this stadium sale event. I don't know what the price, you know, is going to be for that, but this is going to be similar to a land sale in most other games. And I'm assuming, being that you're able to own a stadium, maybe if racers are racing in your stadium, you'll be able to earn like taxes or income on them participating in your stadium or something like that. I don't know what the benefits will be, but we'll find out. Rollout of the skill-based game controls. And then there's, you know, iOS and Android. There's a community hackathon, community treasure, staking PGX, a secondary racing mode, Pega burn system. So this is really cool. So they're planning on having a deflationary aspect for the NFTs themselves, for the Pega, so that, you know, breeding doesn't get too overpopulated and, you know, the value of the NFTs themselves decrease. So this is very cool. And then initial sale of Perseus rider NFTs. So they're actually going to be implementing riders for these Pega in a couple years, because this game, they're looking at developing an entire metaverse, like an open world metaverse thing alongside this like racing game. Like this, they're thinking like AAA studio level thinking here. So there's a lot coming for this. And then community-based games and interoperability cross-chain use Pegaxy NFTs in other games. So they've got a lot of plans for quite a long time, which is great to see. Now let's dive into the white paper. We'll go over a few of the main details, and then we'll go over the NFT sale and the IDO coming up. All right, so let's go over this. this in here is what we pretty much already talked about. So it's going to be PvP horse racing game. The top 3 players will earn coins, this VIS token. And then within the game, players are able to breed, rent, sell, and race their Pega to earn VIS tokens. The system has proven a sound long-term economic approach when building a blockchain-based game, and enables teams to build large guilds, scholarship programs, and even provide solo players the opportunity to earn a second income through daily racing. So this is a very, very cool thing, and one of the major reasons why NFT and play to earn games have become such a massive thing. And you know, they're only getting started. They are going to be monumental from here. Like over the next 5 years, it is going to be amazing. But let's get into it. So the initial sale of 5,000 founding Pega will be held in October. Now, I don't know if they've changed this or if they have some reserved for another time or something, but in the founding sale tomorrow, it is only going to be 37.50. So maybe there's 12.50 that are, I don't know, reserved for giveaways and things like that, or they're planning on having a second sale, or maybe they just decided to change this number and they haven't updated the white paper yet because this was last updated in September. But anyways, there will be 37.50 selling tomorrow. Okay. And then the cool thing about this is the first 5,000 here are dubbed the founding Pega because they're the only ones that'll be created by the development team. Okay, so every other Pega that's, you know, in the game after these initial 5,000 or 37.50, whatever they decided it is, all the other Pega are going to come through breeding, right? So it's going to come through like the player economics. And then here is owners and scholars can earn by racing their Pega in PvP, selling high-performing or newly born Pega on the market, renting out their Pega in the rental marketplace for a share of racing profits or a fixed-term rental, collecting rare founding and crowned Pega and reselling them through the market, so that's speculation, and then competing in the global competition, the Grand Dash. This competition takes place over 12 months, concluding in December, in which the top 12 racers of every class, 60 total per month, compete in a series of events until the top 15 racers are identified. In the grand final in December, the top 3 in each class, the top 15 will receive generous PGX rewards. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You're not even just getting the VIS token, you're getting the actual governance token, PGX. So these will be very big rewards for this Grand Dash. And then on the release date 2022, players will be able to stake their PGX inside the community treasury for rewards. So that's cool too. They have staking already planned for the token as well. This is saying it's built on Polygon, which is a layer 2 solution, utilizes the dual economic model initially introduced by Axie Infinity. The governance token is Pegaxy Stone, PGX, and the utility is VIS or Vigorous. So it says the game here will be released in 2D and then it'll transition to 3D once all the testing is complete and the compatibility with low-end Android devices is confirmed. So that's a very smart option for them, you know, because a lot of players come from, you know, more developing countries and things like that. You know, not everyone is going to have the newest iPhone. I mean, heck, I don't even have that. So they're making sure that the game is fully accessible from the get-go, and then they're going to be testing and making sure that, you know, the game is going to be accessible to players all over the world, right? And especially with these breeding and rental systems and the idea of these massive scholarship programs, you want the game to be as accessible as possible to, you know, the pending scholars, right? And then mobile gameplay is a primary focus of racing development. So again, that's really cool. And then enabling large-scale scholarship programs and guild growth through the in-game economic model is at the forefront of importance. Okay, so they understand how powerful this is for, you know, empowering and benefiting not just like players and investors up front, but the impact it can make on, you know, the scholars' lives as well. Like, people have the opportunity to earn a full-time income essentially, or even more than what they, you know, typically earn through these rental programs and these scholarship programs and stuff, and be able to play the game for free while still earning, right? So that is super, super cool. And it says this aligns heavily with our team's ethos. And then through the community involvement and eventual governance, the Pegaxy game direction and development will be dictated by the players. So very, very cool. Here's their vision. Through strategic development, community insights, Pegaxy aims to become the home of horse racing in the metaverse, while simultaneously providing an ecosystem where users are able to play, socialize, and work in the same space. So here is an overview of the gameplay. We'll just kind of touch on the main things, the racing itself, the breeding, and then the rental system, because I think those will be, the most important things that you want to know about. And you guys can always, I encourage you guys, do your own research. Again, not financial advice. Go through, read the white papers, do your research on this before you jump in, right? Okay, so before moving forward, blah, 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 basically saying the races are free. The only requirement is that you have one Pega to race with. So whether that's a rented or an owned Pega, it doesn't matter as long as you have one. And then it says once you enter, you'll click race, blah, blah, blah. It'll put you in a lobby. And then it should be noted that gear has a positive and negative effect on the attributes. If you use a chest plate that adds 1% to strength, the chest plate will remove 1% in speed or fire. Okay, so there's going to be different gear that you can suit your Pega up with. And that is going to affect how it sort of adapts in the environment conditions and then the strength and speed of your Pega as well. So depending on the course you're racing, you might want to be able to outfit your Pega differently. So select the race, enter the lobby, wait for the lobby to fill. Once the lobby's full, you got 60 seconds and you got to gear up your Pega and adapt it to the race conditions. Once the countdown's complete, the race will begin. All right, and then there's racing. So it says to start out, it's going to be just a 2D RNG style racer. So it's going to be like an auto racer kind of thing, and you're not really going to have interaction with it. But again, this is just the beta release to start with. And then for future developments, they're going to have the 3D racing. They're going to have player controlled racing. And then this says tentative depending on how the community feels towards the idea, but having attack and defense tools, and then more dependence on the player's skill rather than RNG. So I think this is a very cool idea. If you think of like the popular racing games, or at least the games that I played growing up, like the games like Scars, and like what was the one on motorcycles, it was like Road Rash or something like that. A lot of those games where like you could race, but you could also like hit someone else out of the way or shoot stuff at them, or like, think of Mario Kart, right? Like think of Mario Kart, you're racing, you drop like a banana peel behind you to mess up the other player, or you shoot a shell around. Like having attack and defense things is, I think a great addition to it. But again, I guess the community will decide on how they feel about that, and then they'll either push forward with that or they'll keep it to strictly racing. But I think it would be very, very cool for them to implement attacks and defenses, because again, that adds an entire another level of skill, and potentially another level of RNG if they want to go that way. Like you think of Mario Kart, right? You got the question mark boxes, you pick up a random item, and you have to make use of that. And then the post race results. This is kind of cool because it shows that they're already they already had the forethought to know that people are going to try to game the system any way they can, especially when money's involved. And so it says you're going to be able to review the race replay and send a link of the replay to someone else. The race rewards go to the first, second, and third players, right? And that's visible to every player. And then you will also be able to report any suspicious activity seen in your race or in a Pega's history on this page, which will be submitted to our team for review, right? So if it seems like someone's like hacking or doing something sketchy, you have the ability to report them right there and be like, hey, check this out. This doesn't make sense. They've won 100% of their last 94 races, and something like that. And then the team will look into it and be like, oh yeah, this isn't legit, or maybe this is legit. But either way, very, very cool feature that they've thought of in advance, right? This is the Grand Dash tournament, so you know they don't have like a lot about it, but there's a monthly qualifier, and then there's going to be the final, and the top 3 of each class are going to end up getting the big rewards. Breeding, so this is the big thing. So you're going to have the father and the mother, okay? And here is basically the breakdown of the breeding costs. So as you can see, very similar to Axie, the more times you breed, the higher this cost it's going to be. Every single time it also costs 500 PGX. So again, it's very similar to like the Axie breeding model if you're familiar with it. If not, just know that every time you breed them, it costs more, and it looks like there's a maximum of 7 breeds per Pega. Right? Restrictions should be noted. They're metal machines. Therefore, when breeding, there's no restrictions. Breeding's possible with parents, children, grandchildren, and so on. And then here is the bloodlines. So this is how it works. Basically, it's always going to be the least rare bloodline that is the dominant one. So if you have like a Haas, which is the most rare, and you breed it with a Zan, which is the least rare, you're only going to get a Zan. You're not going to get like a middle one. It's always only going to be the least rare secondary horse that you're breeding with that it's going to end up being, right? So the only way you can get another Haas is if you have 2 Haases to breed with, okay? So that's just a sort of chart about how that works. There's going to be different breed types, or essentially like rarities here. So there's the founding Pega. So that is what is going to be sold in the very first NFT sale. And then anything after these initial founding Pega, there's never going to be any more founding ones, right? So everyone after that is going to be a breed of those. So if you happen to breed 2 founding Pega, you're going to get a legendary. And then after, you know, you're done breeding those founding ones, you're going to have to start breeding either one of the founding with a legendary, or you're going to have to breed 2 of the legendaries together. And from there, you're going to start to get epics. And then from there, rares and pacers. So it's going to gradually, you know, decrease the rarity of the Pega the further down the bloodline you breed them. So they also have different cooldown times. So the Haas, again, the most rare, only has a 24-hour cooldown time. The Campona 48, Clin 72, and Zan 96, right? So you're only waiting 1 day between breeds for the 2 Haas, but you have to wait 4 days for the Zan, right? So you can breed 4 times more often with that Haas. Gender, currently the gender of a baby Pega is decided on a 50-50 basis. There's no external factors at this time that can dictate the gender of the newborn Pega. In the future, we may introduce an NFT food type that could alter the % chance of male or female. However, this is not currently active. All right, and then renting. So on their renting, or their rental system, you know, security is a main focus for them. They said, you know, not only for the Pega owners or the managers, but also for the scholars. It says in traditional rental systems inside the play to earn games, they're controlled by the manager and payments are made manually to the scholar. And so that, you know, offers the opportunity of the manager or the owner to kind of scam the scholars and make them, you know, play for them for days or weeks or months and then never pay them, right? So instead, to circumvent that, they have these different rental processes. And so it says they have an automated payout rental process. And basically, the Pegaxy provides an escrow account for every rental agreement that receives all rewards, and then it automatically distributes them according to the agreed profit share to the scholar and the manager. Okay, so that means like there's no one individual that's controlling it and deciding how much they're giving the scholars. It's already pre-decided and it's automatically done, which is also very nice because it frees up a lot of time for the manager as well, right? Like it makes the whole system a lot more automated, a lot more easy to function. So then there's 3 types of renting in the in Pegaxy as well. So there's fixed renting, profit share, and direct rental. So profit share is probably what you're most familiar with. This is where, you know, they decide, hey, we're gonna do a 50-50 split. You can race the Pega for free, but we're gonna split the profits, you know, halfway. You keep half, I keep half, and you know, we're all Gucci. There's a fixed rental system, which is kind of cool. So you can determine a price for a fixed period of time. So this is saying, you know, say you put your Pega on the market for 2,000 PGX for a 60-day rental. right? So once that's accepted and a scholar's like, okay, I'll pay 2000 PGX so that I can race this Pega for the next 2 months. And once that's done, the person, the owner, gets that 2000 PGX immediately, but they can't take their Pega back for any reason during those 60 days. Okay, so the scholar, once they've paid for it, the owner is paid, and then the scholar has full access to that Pega for that 60-day period, and then it's returned, you know, back to the owner. Okay, and then there's a direct rental system, and this is specifically designed for guilds, it says. So it says, with the rise of Axie came the rise of large-scale guilds, think YGG and Real Deal Guild. And then it says being able to buy, breed, and rent out their NFTs to Scholar is the core thesis of most guilds. So the rental escrow system outlined above are applicable to this rental method as well, but will significantly simplify the management of guilds and reduce the workload overall. So direct rental allows a manager to create a rental contract, which they send directly to the Scholar for them to accept, and then no other person except for that Scholar is going to be able to accept that scholarship. Okay, so this is where you want to be very selective of who you want as your scholar. You can send a direct rental agreement to that person. Otherwise, you could do like either a fixed or profit sharing rental, and you basically put it up on like a rental marketplace, and then whoever, you know, wants to take that up can just join it, right? So with the direct rental, you have a lot more control of who is actually making use of your Pega, right? Whereas the other two are just very passive, right? You just kind of throw them up on the market, and whoever decides to rent them rents them, right? And you don't have a decision as to who that is specifically. Okay. And buying and selling, basically, you know, you can do a buy now or an auction model, and then there's a 3% seller's fee for every transaction. All right, and then the rest is, you know, basically the NFTs. There's the Pega with the 4 different bloodlines and different rarities of those. There's going to be tracks and stadiums. This is a prototype of one of the tracks. And then here's, you know, development. They're going to have, they started developing 3D stadiums inside Pegaxy in preparation of the first stadium sale, scheduled tentatively for this December. So that is pretty cool. That's very quick for these massive things, but that'll be really, really cool to see what those are like. There's going to be the gear, so you're going to have headwear, knee wear, chest wear, and backside wear to sort of gear up your Pega and give you different sort of stats for the race. And then food. So true, mechanical horses can eat food too, but in Pegaxy, they're a bit different to traditional food. So food is basically a single-use item that's used for the same reason as gear. So they assist in temporarily changing your Pega's attributes. The same formula stands for food as it does for gear. So it's, you know, speed, strength, fire, water, wind, light, speed. So this is like a continuous sort of model. If you increase strength, it decreases speed. And you know, it just kind of goes through that line there. And so the food, I guess, lasts for a week. So it says it'll last for 7 days, and you can't be removed until the 7 days are up. So I guess you want to be pretty sure of, you know, what sort of stats you want to be able to change with that food. And then there's 2 different types of food here that have different sort of benefits. So this says reduce the maturity time of a baby Pega from 4 days to 3 days. This allows a Pega to race just 3 days after being born. So normally it takes 4 days for them to mature and be able to race. This will cut that down by a full day. So that's fairly substantial. And then the Joy of Sunshine is a one-time per Pega use, and it just allows you to permanently change the color of your Pega. But it does say you're unable to change your Pega back or use another one to try again. So if you want to change the color, you want to make sure that's the color you want it to permanently be forever. Okay, and then there's a bunch of different foods here for different stats. So, you know, reduce the maturity time, increase speed, increase strength, etc. Now, for those of you that got into the NFT sale for tomorrow for the founding Pegas, these are the accepted currencies and the prices for the various bloodlines. So you've got Zan starting at $100 and the Haws at $600. There's also going to be a differing amount of these. So I think there's 1,705, if I can remember correctly, of the Zan. there's like 1200 something of the Clin, and then there's 500 and 150, or 600 and 150, something like that. There's only 150 of the Haws, and there's like 1700 of the Zan. So the lower rarity, the more supply there's going to be. And then you can use either USDT, Matic, or wrapped ETH on the Polygon network. And the last thing before we wrap this up is the upcoming IDO. So this is going to be taking place on November 5th on Crystal Go. So I will link this down below here. The registration for this opens in about 3.5 days. It opens on November 1st, I believe. And then it goes, yeah, so from the 1st until the 4th. So I will link this down below so you guys can access this. And once November 1st comes around, you can register here, do the KYC. I will probably do that right away so that I'm ready for this. And then it looks like here is going to be the price is going to be 20 million PGX raised. One is going to be 2 cents, and the deposit token is going to be USDT. And I'm assuming this is going to be on the, yes, Polygon network as well. All right, so you're gonna have to have USDT on the Polygon network ready to rock and roll for this. And if you don't know how to do that, I will put out a separate video very soon, probably once the registration opens for the whitelist here. You still have plenty of time. There's still about a week until the actual IDO, but I will put out a video on the channel as well, walking through the process of how to get USDT or get funds over to the Polygon network for the cheapest price, because most people bridge from Ethereum over to Polygon, but then you have to pay the Ethereum gas fees, and those can be huge, right? So I'm going to show you the cheapest and best way to do it. So be sure that you're subscribed and you got those notifications on so that you get that noti, or be sure to join the Discord. Again, the link is going to be in the Discord below, and you'll be notified when I get that up. All right, so that is everything for Pegaxy. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys bullish on this? I definitely am. And again, I'm not affiliated with these guys in any way. I just love the look of this thing. I think it has a ton of potential, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button if you like this one, if you're excited for the game, and don't forget to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you never miss these updates on these brand new play to earn NFT gaming projects. There is going to be so many. I've got like a dozen to bring you guys over the next like week or so, and some of these are going to be just massive. So I'm super pumped about it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys. Just before we hop off, I do want to shout out to the most recent subs here: Exor Metal, Sam Adams, A Shorts, and Jared Wilson. Big shout out. Appreciate all the support. Welcome to Six Pack Gaming. Thank you guys. As always, until next time, train hard, game hard, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.